Good evening, everybody. It's me, John Zender, and this is video 3 on launching your art career. So today we're going to look at the master plan. This is the way I have been doing my planning and series for the past several years. So this information is very in-depth. We're going to go through it pretty fast because we don't want this video to be extremely long. I am going to make more videos that are going to describe each and every single one of these sections in detail. So if for whatever reason you don't catch it or you need more info, don't worry, we'll get you the info. So to get ready, the first 2 things I want you to focus on this plan is how I laid it out. The first thing is, I'm the very visual, as I mentioned before, so I need something to look at. Obviously, my plan is not this big when I have it at home, but for the sake of sharing it with you, I enlarged it. These are the 2 things you have to start with first, the bottom and the top. On my plan, as you can see, it's like a comic book. I work my way up towards the ladder that I call success, okay? So here at the bottom is where you are now. Now, one thing I want you to realize is that you cannot begin to do these things until you have this bottom ready to go. And what is that? That is your breakout style, or what we call in the art world, your signature style. Breakout style, signature style basically means that you're painting in the exact same style over and over and over, and it's not confusing your audience. Whether you do abstract, landscape, or whatever kind of art you do, as long as you're painting consistently in the same style, like Cubist or Impressionist, no one will be confused as to your originality. The other thing that is important is the very, very top. Where do you want to be? This is important because if you don't have your long-term goal, this road is going to be very unclear. So to give you an example, I'm going to write some examples for you. I want a large studio. I want to be represented by a gallery. Another one would be, I want to make 20,000 in sales of art. Another example would be, I want to be at the Art Basel in Miami. These are just examples. You can fill in whatever you want, whatever gallery you're shooting for. Write down the name of the gallery you want to be. Write down the name of the dealer you want to be with. Write down the name of what city you want to have that studio. If you want to be in New York, in your own loft, write it down on where do you want to be. I'm adding this section here so you're able to pause it and either copy it, take a good look at it, and I will have another one at the end with when it's all filled in so that you'll have a better chance to take a look at it. Okay, so we're ready for now to go from A to Z because we have A, B, C, D, the rest going here. All right, so what is the first thing you need? To start, you need a large body of work. So the first step is a body of work. And the way I do it is I actually allow this same plan to help me create this body of work by writing oil paintings. I write the amount that I want to have. I want to have, I'm going to say 100. 100 oil paintings, 100 large oils. And what I do also is I do a box next to what I'm doing. Why? So if I have 100 and I count and I write the number in pencil. 6, I got 6 done. Then I can erase that 6. I got 12 done until I hit my mark. I want to have 100 watercolors and 100 mixed medias on paper. Of course, I put my squares to let me know my progress as I reach that goal. This is important, your body of work, because you cannot go anywhere until you have a pretty good size body of work. So now, the next question you have to ask yourself is, once you've achieved your goal, you have 100, 100, 100, 100. What is the next step? You see the arrow moving you to the next location. The next one is going to be what I call prints or inventory of prints. Why prints? And I'll tell you why. Because in the world of art, you're not always going to be wanting to sell your originals. You don't want to sell and set yourself back to zero. You do 10 paintings, sell the 10 paintings, you're back to zero. Do 50 paintings, they're the best paintings, you sell them, you're back to zero. It's important to keep an inventory of how many prints. Now, you can start off by doing digital prints or postcards, and my favorite, G-clays, which are archival, very beautiful archival prints that you can sell as fine art, limited edition. And my other favorite is silkscreen, like modern multiples, and there's a lot of different people that do silkscreen, 3 or 4 color, 8 color. A lot of information going on here, but we're gonna move pretty fast. Once you have a good amount of prints, and you might want to do the same thing that you did over here, put your box next to each one so that you can keep an accurate account of how many you currently have. This can get a little pricey, so don't shoot for like 100 or 1,000 of each. Give yourself enough to work with. Okay, the next one as we move up the ladder is branding, or what I call merchandising, okay? Branding. Why is branding important? Because in today's world, branding is everything. And what is branding? Branding is you're selling something to people that they must first become familiar with what you're trying to sell. Or here's an example. When someone spends a lot of time, especially Coca-Cola, you see that bottle, that logo of Coca-Cola, you know it's Coca-Cola. It's gonna taste like Coca-Cola. You buy it and you don't expect it to taste like Dr. Pepper. That's branding, okay? So we wanna make sure that you have an image or a style or a flavor that you wanna maintain throughout your career. If you're a street artist, you wanna kinda have that street art style. If you're a muralist and you want to have that grandeur of muralism on the top of a lift doing these buildings and the mascot, whatever. But remember, this type of branding is going to carry you throughout your career. So this and this have to match. If you're going to be at the Art Basel, you don't want to be there as, I don't know, a clown. Just kidding. So, branding. Where do we start from branding? The first thing you might want to do is you begin to look for what's the look you're looking for. Maybe a logo, maybe a couple of murals, maybe also start thinking about your paperwork, and I'll deal with that later. What do I mean by paperwork? I mean your bio, your artist statement, your press. This is gonna have to begin to be developed, because without your press packet, it's gonna be harder for you to move, and we'll deal with that on the next ones. Okay, once you have an idea of where your branding is, we move on to the next one. The next one is where branding kind of makes its mark, and that's in marketing. Marketing is where now you have your brand, you have your logos, you have your art, you have your inventory. Now you need to start exposing this to other people. So we begin by, let's say, the most common one, social media. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. You begin to market yourself in social media. Another one would be blog. You begin to blog. You begin to share your story and why you do what you do. Okay? The next one, once you start getting into your marketing, remember, there's going to be videos on each one so I can go into depth into each one. This is the get your plan written out. The next one is going to be what I would consider your first exposure. What do I mean by your first exposure? And that's sort of like you're now looking for venues to host this new body of work. So you don't want to start really shooting unless it does happen. You want to look for some shows, maybe some cafes, maybe, some libraries, or maybe a group show. Call your friends, friends group show. Again, we can get into a lot of in-depth there. Okay, the first exposure, I'm going to put a number 1 just because I want it to be your first exposure. That means if you haven't done this, and some of you guys are already here, some of you started here before you even had this, and then all of a sudden you can't have a second show. Now, one thing I want you to realize is that this plan that I'm doing could change for a lot of people. It's not a fixed blueprint, but it is a plan that gets you moving into the right direction. All right, once you have your first exposure, you had a show, you had a group show, you had some venues, you had some friends, cafe shops, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. The next one, and this is kind of where you're gonna do larger promotion. By this point here, you can almost say you are taking this extremely serious. You're no longer a hobbyist. You're not only doing this for fun. You're taking this to the point where you're serious about your promotion. So now you want to start a YouTube channel. Okay? Now with the serious promotion, you're going to look for ads, art magazines. Okay, you might want to now begin to advertise on Instagram with some promotional ads. And these are going to cost you a little bit of money. Okay, Facebook also has ads. I don't know, the other ones have it. A lot of people have it. Ads, YouTube channel, promotional ads. Also, you're looking for press. Anybody that can write about you, a commercial, even if you want to go all out, you got money, do a short film. Even a little mini documentary. Okay? This is where now the promotion is serious. You're going to have you're looking for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of followers. You're looking for those 10,000 followers on Instagram, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. This is a lot of work, and this right here can be a whole book on it, okay? But again, we're trying to get you to move forward towards this thing. The next thing, after you've done this, you're coming up here, and this is probably where everybody's like, when do we get to the sales part? And that's when we hit here. Now, like I said, this can obviously be moved all the way down here, but I'm talking about the sequence of the plan. So the one now is sales. Here's now where your paperwork comes in handy, because you begin to seek out main galleries. This is now where you begin to have one-on-ones with people. What do I mean by one-on-ones? It means that if you know a friend who knows a friend that you can get in hold of, and he's the curator of a gallery, but he's a friend of yours, and you say, hey, what if I take you and your friend, the curator, to coffee and let's talk, I have a proposal. This is where you begin to write up your proposals. And what a proposal is if you have a good show, you have to type it up, write it in a proposal to pitch it to the main galleries. There's a lot of work that deals with sales and how to sell. You might, at this time, if you're interested, start working on the online sales, and this is where gets very, you're going to be super busy, because knowing which platform you're going to use on your online sales, another interesting topic. Are you going to use Saatchi? Are you going to use Etsy? Are you going to use Shopify? Are you going to use... There's so many. Do some research on that one. We might do, like I said, we're going to do videos on each one. And finally, the second to the last one, here's our last one we already did, this one. And to me, this is the one that I love, because it's the one that, in my experience, if you're pushing this, I used to call it the mystery box a long time ago, but now I call it the unexpected. Why do I call it the unexpected? It's because when you're already doing sales, when you're already doing this, when you're already doing this, when you're doing your exposure, when you already have your body of work, and this is the one where if you want to say miracles, accidents, however you want to call it, this is kind of where it happens. And that means you're sending emails to prospects, which is galleries. You're sending letters and packets to museums and galleries. And sometimes you don't know what to expect on the reply. Sometimes it could be, we're sorry, but we're not looking for artists. Sometimes it would be, wow, I find your proposal very interesting. Are you interested in doing something? Bam. Sometimes they say you fill out a grant, or someone says they're a friend of it. This is where people are involved. Because in the world of art, or in the world of anything, it takes people, groups of people, to make things happen. So this is where you really have to connect yourself with the right people, because sometimes these are the people that have the connections that take you there. Okay, one of the things that I also want to point out about this one is when you're dealing with, say, any part of this, I want you to remember there's still a lot of things you could do. Like, for example, begin to visit galleries, especially the ones that you want to be in. Go to the openings, and don't go there, like I said before in my other videos, don't go there all mysterious, all, trying to like sneak in there. Go in there with a very positive attitude, as in my mindset video, and meet the director. Sometimes it's good to go on a day that is not an opening. Go to the openings, but go to another day to meet the director and just shake hands and say you really love the work. Engage, especially when you're doing with your social media. Engage in other people's, artwork. Make comments. Your image, your branding is important. So, especially in today's art world, it ain't the same when 1980s, where you would paint a mural and hoping that somebody would look at the mural and say, I really love your mural. Would you like to do a show at my gallery? Very rarely that happens. So, again, we're going to do videos. They're going to explain each and every one of these, but here is the ladder towards your goal. I hope you enjoyed this. I will also, on my comments on this video, leave books that I recommend that can help you with this process. Hope you enjoyed this video. Click the subscribe button because more videos are coming, and like the video and make comments. Hope to see you soon on my next video. Have a great